Happy to be here today to talk to you, and thanks for everybody for coming. We got a full room, which is really cool to see, because what we're going to talk about today is collaboration, cooperation, and how that impacts our community. But again, this week our team will be increasing their officer presence throughout the core of the city, and this is not a new thing that we do. We step up our staffing seasonally, especially with our school resource officers, as they come out of the schools and become available for deployment. And it was a hot topic last year. We've seen an increase in disruptive behavior downtown, and this is part of the response, is deploying those school resource officers in that area to make sure that we're expanding coverage in the core of our city. But this also, we talked about allocation of resources. This also allows our patrol officers to be available for other parts of the city to respond to calls and be in those areas. So officers are doing several things while they're here the summer months. Addressing behavior, but are also a visible presence in the area, which is important. We hear time and time again how much people like seeing our officers downtown. Even just yesterday, Assistant Chief Cook and I drove downtown, as we always do, and saw one of our school resource officers on foot patrol in the downtown area, making that visible presence that people are comforted by seeing. Part of that also is what we've done in the past and will continue to do, is make connections with businesses and individuals who need resources in that area. The businesses like to see us, talk to us. We stop in, see what they have to say, see what issues they're seeing, but also see people in the area who need help and are able to connect with our partners that we've talked about quite a bit lately, who are making great impacts with some of the population downtown that needs help for a variety of services, whether it's mental health or addiction, and many other different areas too. Recently, within the past couple of weeks, we had a meeting with our partners, many of whom have joined us in the room today, and it's good to see them. Our collaboration right now is stronger than ever, and what we've seen through that strong collaboration is we're making differences like never before. We're making real impacts in a lot of different areas, and we want to just acknowledge the partners in the room who are helping us do this, because for years, a lot of these issues have been seen as law enforcement problems, and we do have a role to play, especially when it comes to behavior, but true change comes when we work together, collaborate, give people the resources and help they need in a coordinated fashion. So in the room with us today, Michelle Treasure, our Homeless Services Coordinator, the DTSF ambassadors, South Dakota Urban Indian Health with their WOCAA project, Midwest Street Medicine, Southeastern Behavioral Health, and Sioux Falls Fire just snuck in at the last moment there. I want to make sure I acknowledge them as well as our partners in Metro Communications, who kind of help coordinate a lot of these different things as they all come together. But again, from a police standpoint, we need to hold people accountable. That's part of our job, it's part of our role, it's part of our responsibility. But we also need to recognize the necessary importance of a compassionate, holistic approach to the root causes that are contributing to some of these issues. I think last month we did a great job of highlighting Urban Indian Health's work, as they have really helped population, taking a variety of different approaches that have been extremely helpful and have produced real change and real improvements for a lot of people in that neighborhood. And I'm excited for what this next year brings for that group as we work together to even build on that collaboration anymore. We've helped hundreds of people get connected to resources only possible with the work of our vital partners. I think, just citing some stats, South Dakota Urban Health alone helped house 20 people in 2024. And this may seem like a small number if you want to look at it that way, but these are some of the hardest cases where people who are struggling with real issues that needed help to get to where they got. And again, this doesn't happen without our partners raising their hands and saying, we're going to get into this and step and help people out in a new way. Again, we've been pretty consistent with this message. We all play a role in those experiencing homelessness or choosing illegal behavior. Our message is clear. It's become somewhat of a talking point, but cash handouts don't help, but you can. We really have to look at this and understanding that the nonprofits and the partners that are here are doing a great job of meeting some of those basic needs. Whether it's temporary housing, whether it's food, whether it's medical care, there's a lot of different things, but giving money to professional panhandlers to give the cycle of addiction just doesn't work. We continue to see people in my personal car. I drive around all the time, and I continue to see through all parts of the city cash going out the window to professional panhandlers or people who are struggling with addiction. And again, while we've gotten better as a community, there's still room for growth and improvement in that regard. I would much rather see these funds being given to our nonprofit partners who are making real impactful change, especially at a time when funding sources are a little bit in flux for a lot of our partners. Your money is even more important now, going to directed resources who can help people in big ways. So please, again, I know the topic becomes one of discussion, but it really is very simple. We wouldn't dream of handing money or drugs to a fentanyl addict or a meth addict. We wouldn't think that is even close to appropriate. We have to have the same mindset that we're people struggling with addiction, that sometimes that cash out the window, more often than not, goes directly into a liquor store in that regard. We just have to make sure the money's going to places or resources that can help people. While we're increasing our efforts this summer to hold people accountable, but also connect them to resources, we are returning with our 4th year of what we call our co-responder model, which is a partnership between us and Southeast Behavioral Health to put a mental health professional in a car with one of our highly trained CIT officers to go out and proactively meet people where they're at, direct them to resources, and work on some of these issues. And with that, Lieutenant Jason Leach will talk a little bit more about that program in depth.
All right, thanks, Chief. Jason Leach, Operations Lieutenant with the Sioux Falls PD. Jason, J-A-S-O-N, Leach, L-E-A-C-H. Again, this is going to be our 4th year with the co-responder program. About 5 years ago, the Sioux Falls Police Department partnered with Southeastern Behavioral Health to take a in-depth look at needs within our community and how we could partner with our agencies in our community. And we worked with Southeastern and started looking around our nation. And so we traveled down to Tucson, Arizona and Wichita, Kansas to visit some established programs and learn from them, and we brought that program back. And so for the last 3 years, we've implemented this program during the summer, utilizing school resource officers, as the Chief alluded to, and it's been very successful. Over the last 3 summers, we've been able to implement this program from June to mid-August before the officers go back to their school assignments, and we've been able to partner them with a mental health professional. And they ride in a patrol car. The officers in their uniform, they're driving a marked patrol car, but they have a unique partner with them for the day. They have a mental health professional from Southeastern Behavioral Health riding with them. And so they just start their day and they listen for the calls that are coming in over the radio. They can triage those calls, they can hear the calls that are coming in. Sometimes Metro will get the call and dispatch them. And sometimes our officers that go to a call will establish on the call that there's a need for a mental health component on that call and ask for the co-responder unit to come over. Typically from our co-responder officer, he'll show up, he or she will show up, they'll kind of just make sure the scene is safe, and then they'll turn it over to our mental health professional because they're really the professionals in this arena, and let them talk to this individual. It really calms things down because this person's not in a uniform, they're not wearing a gun and a badge and a bulletproof vest, and they can really de-escalate that situation and work with the individual. Over the last 3 years, with the hundreds of people we've worked with, over half of them we've been able to treat in place or set up with services with Southeastern to really get them the assistance and help they need at the time and place. Our whole goal was to look at alternatives to jail, and so in those 3 years, we've only taken 8 people to jail in 3 years with this program. And so it's been very beneficial to look and meet our citizens where they're at and address the concerns. This unit also has more time to dedicate to the call and get down to the root issues and root causes, and then provide those resources to the individual. There was one story that they talked about a couple summers ago where they had helped an individual on the side of the road, and then the next day they were out there, and pretty soon they had a line of about 6 or 7 people behind that individual saying, "Hey, this is the car that helps people. Come over here." And so, really excited to see that, and it brings great value to the police department. It brings great value to Southeastern Behavioral Health to have that partnership. And so, we're really excited to see that continue to grow and grow into its 4th year. Officer Andrew Parrott has run that 3 of the 4 years. He'll be out this year again. Officer Shernock ran it last year. We have other officers fill in as well. But Officer Parrott's really taken to this and really excelled at it and really meshed well with our mental health professionals from Southeastern Behavioral Health. Again, we use each day as 5 days a week. We have a different mental health professional. So really we're getting the best use from Southeastern Behavioral Health services and our officers. So they're out there, like I said, responding to those calls, acute calls that are going on. And then when there's not calls going on for service that have that mental health crux to them, we're able to follow up with people that might be in need of services that maybe we haven't checked in with for a while. They're able to go check in with them, locate them, see if they are in need of any services or refer them to services. maybe it's somebody who hasn't checked in for their appointments with Southeastern. They can go check in with them and help lead them to those services. So we're really excited to continue to roll out this program for its fourth year. And again, we have those community partners in the room with us today, and we just like to highlight them. And afterwards, if there's questions for them, they're available for post-interview questions, and would applaud that. So with that, turn it back over to Chief.
Yeah, thanks. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them or anything else you want to talk about. If not, like I said, some really good interview opportunities for you after the fact with some of our partners in the room if you want to highlight some of their work.
I've got one, and maybe it's for you, Lieutenant.
Okay.
You mentioned that there have been eight arrests in that 3-year program. How many contacts would you estimate out of X number of contacts, and 8 of them resulted in arrests?
Yes, so over the course of those 3 years, we had 302 contacts. So, and those are just direct contacts for the co-responder unit themselves. And the other thing to highlight in that is we were able to divert other police units away from those calls. So if the police units were on scene and the co-responder unit was able to come, 254 times we were able to release 254 other police units to go back into service and take other calls for service that the co-responder unit could handle then. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Any other questions? You gonna let us off that easy? Oh. Yeah, I think just something to highlight again, none of this happens without collaboration. If there's a message or a key theme that I want you to understand through this whole story is that we're better working together. And again, seeing the partners in the room and the work that we've done, to see Southeast Behavioralist program that we worked with kind of come into its 4th year, to think back to our first meeting with Urban Indian Health when we sat around the table and talked about what this idea might look like. It's now getting our 2nd summer here of really rolling strong, our work with DTSF. There's a lot of positive momentum going in a lot of good ways and how we work on some of these issues, and that's collaboratively. And I think just to drive a point home for our community, again, there's a lot of messaging that you can do as well, talking about what you see, but also supporting the nonprofits now is more important than ever. Again, there's funding struggles for a lot of different people. The cash handouts don't help is a campaign that is driven and designed to put the money into places where impact and change can happen. And I think while it sometimes gets muddled with politics when we talk about these things, or gets muddled with controversy, the message is clear, and that's just one that we have to work collectively together to help on these issues. And our nonprofits and our partners can make big, impactful change. So, appreciate your time. Sam, do you have anything to add?
No. Chief, I got a question
Okay,
for you.
there you go.
When they hand money to the people that
Yeah.
what's the fine on that? Is there any teeth into it where?
Nope. We're basically, it's a lot of things with a lot of ordinance. We're asking for help in a compliance way, right? Just by raising awareness, we're raising awareness to the issues. We don't want to come to the point where we're crafting city ordinances to find people who hand money out the window or things like that. We just want people to collectively understand the consequences of those actions sometimes and steer them towards ways that they can help in a more meaningful way. It may feel good for the moment to hand money out the window, but I can tell you time after time again, there's stories where it doesn't necessarily help the situation. In many ways it harms. So again, it's pretty well documented some of the funding struggles and the funding cuts that have happened that a lot of nonprofits have relied on. So by echoing that message now to support these groups that are out there trying to make help is the best way that you can put your funds towards a better source.
I have a question for you too. Yeah. When you went down to Wichita and Tucson, what were you able to bring back? What did you see them do that's gonna when you were able to watch them? So when you came back, that you took from down there, how's that going to truly help? Just because this is the first time you really dealt with it, right?
Right, and so we really had our eyes open to that community partnership, because they were working with a community collaborative as well between a mental health professional organization to bring those services in, and they co-respond, go out to the calls, work together in a collaborative effort. And so that's the main piece we really took back, and it was nice to have Southeastern as a partner on that trip with us. And so they were there with us to see that partnership, and that just really fostered that and grew that relationship right from the beginning, because we saw it in both of those locations. And as we travel the nation, we see things that work in certain jurisdictions and places and that might not work here completely, but we can adapt those things to our location here. So
Can Southeastern come up and talk? Do they want to say a few words on it, or?
Or do you want to do interviews afterwards, whatever you want to do?
It's up to you. Okay.
All right, Sam, it's all yours. I don't want to steal any camera time.
I don't have anything. Unless you have any questions for me. Okay, that's what I thought.
All right.
Thank you.